Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amber Valentine and I'm joined today by my sister Kristen
Kristen Valentine.
and also her dog and my dog niece Pancakes.
Pancakes Valentine.
I had a little bit of inspiration thinking about how a lot of Instagram makeup and makeup in general is really influenced by drag makeup. And so today I want to give my sister sort of a more drag inspired look without going full drag. Tell them a little about your normal day-to-day makeup routine.
I mean, I like makeup, but I definitely don't do anything too over the top. I do like a bold lip, a colorful lip.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to show her, like, if this was sort of my interpretation of going out for a wild night and going a little bit further than she would normally go, but without...
So many wild nights.
Yeah. All right, so let's get right into it and waste no more time. You ready?
Here we go. Cheers.
Yeah, and we're having some drinks too. In our family, we love whiskey, so. I know contouring seems, for some people, like it's meant for drag queens, but I mean, let's talk about like Kim Kardashian or God knows how many celebrities who contour anyway, even though they're already beautiful women. So, with that being said, I'm gonna start with a really dark shade around the perimeter of your forehead, just like I do with my own face.
So intense.
You haven't even seen it yet. And then, got our transition shade right here. She literally is like, if you saw us growing up, we were pretty much twins. People always thought we were twins, and even now we still look alike, but not when I'm in drag.
When we do the Snapchat filter,
Oh yeah, the one where it changes you to the opposite gender.
when I look like a boy, it just looks like taking a picture of Ryan, which is Amber out of drag.
Yes.
It's kind of creepy.
All right, so just blending this out. And the one thing that's different about this for me is I don't have to deal with blending mine into the hairline at all because I have a wig that goes over top, but hers, I want to try to make it look natural. So I'm just kind of using light taps and moving it back into her hairline so it doesn't show up in her hair at all, but just blending it out. And then I'm just going right in with some translucent powder and setting all of that in place. Ooh. I'm already seeing some dimension. All right, now I'm gonna take a contour palette like this. I'm just gonna start with this medium brown sort of shade right here. And I'm just gonna pop this right along her hairline just to deepen that contour because after adding that translucent powder, it does kind of take away a little bit of the darkness.
So what does it do for your face shape to have it darker at your hairline?
Lighter colors come forward and darker stuff gets pushed back, so it creates more of a round.
Which is attractive. I guess so.
I mean,
We'll find out.
I think it makes more contrast on your face, and contrast draws the eye.
Okay.
So, we'll see. All right, so next up, I'm gonna go in with just an eyeshadow palette. Since she already has fairly defined brows, we don't need to draw anything crazy. I just wanna sharpen them.
These are quarantine brows, girl. They're not the best.
So I'm gonna take this brown right here and just start filling in underneath. The other thing to note is, like she just mentioned, quarantine brows, her eyebrows haven't been plucked or waxed or...
Lovingly cared for.
Right, but at the same time, it's like, you're only gonna notice that kind of thing if you get up really close. So you have a couple hairs underneath or above or whatever, just kind of work around them. And if you have the shape that you want really filled in, it's gonna actually mask the rest of it because the eye is going to see that shape first unless you're really, really looking closely, which most people aren't doing. And then once I have that bottom line done, I'm just gonna go in with some small upward strokes as if I'm actually mimicking brow hairs. And the other thing I see girls do a lot of times is go really, really dark with their eyebrows despite their hair color. This is almost borderline too dark for her hair because she is blonde. But I think that once we get all the other makeup on, because we are going for a little bit more of an intense look, this will end up balancing out perfectly. But if you're going for a more natural look, go for a lighter brow to match your hair color or a darker brow to match darker hair. You can also see how her eyebrows are very similar to mine, where they actually kind of slope down on the outside. So I'm not gonna completely cheat that because, again, this isn't drag makeup, but I am gonna sort of bring this upper corner out a little bit and lift it just a little bit higher than her natural brow like this, and then bring that back down to follow her natural brow just to give it a little bit more drama. The next step I would normally do for myself would be taking some white cream concealer under the brow to clean it up And one thing that this will really help with is, since she hasn't gotten her eyebrows done in a while, it'll help mask that, and you can create a clean line underneath the brow that will make it look more perfect. But instead of white, I'm just gonna use a little bit of this light concealer that I used in the middle of her forehead. And then I'll blend that down because this will give us a really nice base to add our eyeshadows on top of. And now I have that filled in all the way from the bottom of the eyebrow down to her lash line. And so we're just gonna take this sort of light, almost like a skin tone, a really pale skin tone, and just set all of that in place. And I always say too that even if you're not doing something this extreme, but if you're trying to get any sort of eye that is really blended out with colors, it's always good to put a neutral shade all the way from your eyebrow to your lid first, because it's easier to blend shadows into shadows versus shadows into just plain skin. It's just gonna blend easier that way, so.
So you should have light eyeshadow on your whole lid, all the way from your lid up to your brow bone.
Yeah, but like ideally eyeshadow that either matches your skin or is slightly lighter, so that it's basically not noticeable.
Good blending tip. I need to try it, I'm serious. In case the viewers don't know, when Amber was a young little lad, 4 to 5 years old, maybe even younger at times, he used to take his little pajama bottom legs, put them on his head.
The waistband on my head.
The waistband on his head, and put a ponytail holder or a scrunchie have you in his hair, and he would swing it around and call it
his my hair.
long hair. So he had a favorite pair of, I think they were yellow pajama pants,
yellow,
because
like
they
footy
looked like
pajamas.
lawn.
Yeah.
If only that little boy knew who you'd be now.
I know.
Now.
I know. So much like me, my sister has hooded eyes, which means if you look at the camera, you can see that when her eyes are open, you really can't see her eyelids pretty much at all. So
Sad.
Kind
of sad.
It's hard. It is hard.
It's that hard hooded life.
Yeah.
Hooded eye life.
But the good thing is that there are ways to work around it. One thing I'd recommend, if you have hooded eyes, don't close your eye the way other people do when they do their makeup, because when you open your eyes, all that work that you do is going to be completely gone. So you want to look directly into the mirror when you're doing your makeup. Like, you know, take your fluffy brush or whatever and keep your eye open and create the sort of shape you want and the way you want it to look with your eye open. And then you can close your eye and fill in the rest of that however you need to make it look good when your eyes are closed. So Kristen always has loved a cat eye eyeliner makeup look.
I just like the look of it. I haven't ever done it myself because it
it.
doesn't work with my eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really hard with the hooded eye. So I'm going to show a way that you can do that, but it is fairly dramatic, but that's what we're going for today. So I'm going to go in with this sort of like reddish orange shade first as my transition color.
Okay.
When she has her eyes closed, you can almost see, if you turn the camera a little bit, close your eyes, you can almost see the indentation here of where her eyeball is and where the eye socket cuts in. So I'm just going right up about to that eye socket and then starting to slowly blend a little bit above that, but not too much higher. I want to make sure that there is a little bit of space between the shadow and her eyebrow that doesn't have any sort of bright pigment on it. Okay, so now you can see when her eyes are open, it's like you're seeing just a hint of that orange, which means I want to bring it up a little bit higher because the orange is just a transition color. So if I were to do that and then below that have the darker color for the smoky eye, then clearly when her eye is open, you won't be able to see that dark color at all. So that means that's telling me that I have to bring the orange up a little bit higher than I have it right now. I have sort of that halo of color above her eye. And if you turn toward me a little bit and open your eye, I'm going to bring that color out a little bit in sort of a wing style. Also, don't clock my no nails, okay? I'm doing makeup right now.
I'll help you out, girl.
Wait, open again, please. And then what I'm doing is sort of going along her bottom waterline here and bringing that sort of straight up from there. I don't want to go any lower or it's going to make her eye look droopy. So I want to keep sort of bringing that up and out toward the tail end of her eyebrow here.
Get that lifted.
Exactly. All right, so now that we have that part done, I'm going to go in with like... What?
I just feel like we're not drinking.
Oh, you want to take a shot?
Yeah.
Cheers to... I don't have anything.
Okay. Okay. Cheers to your talent. Make me a beautiful face. If you were on RuPaul, you'd win first place.
Oh, thank you. Now that we have that orange transition color laid down, I just feel like I'm kind of inspired by this sweater she's wearing. What?
It's really generous to call it a sweater.
A sweatshirt? I don't know. Okay, whatever.
My athleisure wear.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go in with this navy color, and I'm just gonna use the same brush because we're trying to blend them all together anyway. And I'm gonna start this right at the bottom of her lash line, just because I don't know how dramatic it'll look until I start laying it down, and that way I can just start to bring it up slowly and blend it out. All right, now that that's starting to look smoked out, I'm gonna go in with this round flat brush so I can get a little bit more precision with it for when I bring it out for that wing. And you can see when she looks straightforward, a little bit of that blue is coming through, but that tells me again, like I mentioned before, that we need to bring that blue up a little bit higher. And then I'm having her keep her eye open right now so I can sort of bring this wing out without bringing it down too far, because if she closes her eye, you can see how that fold of her skin goes down like that, and I want to work around that.
So we're gonna wing the eyeshadow and the liner?
Yeah, well the liner is actually going to be sort of a little bit more minimal to keep it from getting over too dramatic. So we're going to use the eyeshadow
Too
basically.
over dramatic.
What did I say?
Over too dramatic.
Did I?
Very seriously, I might add. Over too dramatic.
Over too dramatic.
Keeping a straight face is hard for me.
There we go. Keeping a straight face is hard for me too. See what I did there? I'm gonna go in with just some eyeliner. I'm just gonna follow along that line, but I'm not bringing it up all the way to the edge of the shadow. And then now if you close your eye, you can see how that wing goes up, but if you open your eye, it's only showing up on that outer corner. So what I'm gonna do is take some black shadow here. I'm gonna bring that up here, like so, and sort of fade that up into the outer edge of her eyeshadow. And blend it in towards the inner part of the lid. So now that we have the tops of the eyes done, we can go in and do the foundation on the rest of the face. I'm gonna start with this super light concealer on her highlight points here.
Can you explain why these are the highlight points?
This is where the light would be hitting you the most because it's the high points of your face. So if you like, the planes of your face are gonna be the tops of your cheeks, the upper lip, the middle of your chin, and the middle of your forehead, also along the bridge of your nose. So basically it's like the shadows that she naturally has here, because she's not doing drag, she's just reinforcing her own natural features, but she already has this cut in cheekbone here. So what we're doing is just enhancing the natural lights and darks of her face already. And then I'm gonna take the darkest shade that I used around the perimeter of her hairline, just very tiny bit right here, and
Oh, give me that contour.
yeah, in the hollows of her cheeks. We'll start blending all of that out.
I just keep wanting to say, do you like cute, River? Where'd you get this gorgeous bag?
Oh, it's Jewel Osco.
Is that a new designer?
Yeah, I think
She
so.
sounds
Jewel, I think it's a
cute.
singer, Jewel, and then she
Joined
she
with
paired up with
Osco?
like Osco, who's like, I think she's like some sort of like Icelandic
Female rapper.
female rapper. Now we just set her whole face, and as you can see, everything has kind of been lightened up a little bit because of the translucent powder. So I'm gonna go back in with the contour palette that we used on her forehead before. And I'm gonna start with the cheekbones. And I'm just gonna start right along the hairline. And I'm just following her own natural cheekbone here and blending it up a little bit. She already has a beautiful feminine jawline, but I am gonna go in, and just contour it a little bit anyway. I think it'll help just match the rest of the shadows on her face so that it doesn't look like anything is unrealistic. It will all balance out. And blend it down the neck, because I didn't put makeup on her neck, so I want to make it all blend out so it doesn't look like it's not matching. So this way, if you keep blending it down, it can just gradiate right down into her skin and it won't look obvious that she's wearing a ton of makeup. Now that we have that contour complete, the last thing we need to contour is her nose. So I'm taking this light brown here, and I'm just gonna go along the sides of her nose, and then I'll blend it all out. Your nose is just like mine. It's so weird. It's just yours is smaller. It's so
like looking
weird.
at the same exact nose,
Yeah.
but a smaller version.
Well, and like you have the same, the bone structure is like right here is the widest part, just like my nose.
One time I told Dad I noticed my nose is getting bigger, and he said he noticed it too.
Well, probably about himself, right?
No, about mine.
What?
I was like, thanks, Dad. I'm not kidding.
Well, that's a very dad thing to say.
Yeah. Then.
But your nose and your ears are the only things in your body that never stop growing. You know that?
Yep.
Okay, so now that the contouring is all done, we're gonna quickly do a nice under eye to finish out the eye. I'm gonna go in with the same corally shade that I used for her transition shade on the top. And we're just gonna go along the bottom of the eye and do the exact same thing. And then I'll take an angled brush like this and go into the same navy blue shade. And this will get really precise right along that bottom lash line. And I'm gonna go just a tiny bit below her inner corner. And then I'm gonna go back in with that first brush again and then just blend that right out. Lastly, I'll go back in with some black on an angled brush and do the exact same thing right along the edge here. Now, to open her eye up a little bit, normally for me I would use white, but I'm gonna go with just this very light concealer, and I'm gonna just bring this along her waterline and then down on the inner corner right here. And then I'm gonna actually set it with white shadow, even though that sounds intense, but I think it'll just brighten up just the right amount. I'm gonna go in with this neon pink eyeshadow. You nervous?
A little. I mean, we're going for it.
She's trusted me so far, so.
Yeah.
All right, this way. And I'm gonna start right here in this outer cheekbone, and I'm gonna bring it in.
Wow. It's pretty far out.
I'll use a little bit of this coral too on the apples of her cheeks. If you smile, please. Here we go, and then blend that out as well. We threw on some mascara and lashes, and the last thing to do is lips. So Kristen never really uses lip liner. She loves like a bold lip, but I'm just gonna show her how to overdraw your lips the tiniest amount so it looks completely natural, even if you wear gloss or anything like that. And I think because her bottom lip is so full, she doesn't necessarily need liner on the bottom. So I'm gonna fill in the whole lip right now with liquid lipstick, and if it needs it afterward, we'll see, but maybe not. Here we are with the final look. How do you feel?
Here I am, sis. Like, I am here. I am here for it. Whenever I go to see you in drag, I feel like whatever I had on is like, I am like naked. Like, I have nothing on right now in terms of makeup. So like, I feel like now I can like be next to you. I'm like, like I have my own version of that. But whatever makeup I normally do during the day feels like nothing compared to this. This is very fun. It feels like a lot, but especially with the eyelashes. But other than that, I don't think I would like notice it because I don't feel it on my face. I just feel so good. I'm so ready. Like, where should we go? Should we go to Roscoe's, Scarlet, Splash? Well, we'll go to our living room.
Let's get drunk here.
Cheers!
Cheers! Thank you for tuning into this video with me and my sister. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and click subscribe if you'd like to see more from me.
Her.
And also, you can click the notification bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video.
And
So-
please comment if you'd like to see more of me.
Thank you so much for watching. See you all soon. See you all soon.
See you soon.
Oh! Nothing happened.
We just got a little spill.
Okay.
Like, just pretend we're talking.
We're just like, well, not look at him then. Like,
Oh, thank you.
Did that get on camera?
Is that good? It's not recording.
it's recording, right?
It is?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, and here we are with
Here we
the
are!